I still can't believe how easy it is to get a late payment like this removed from a credit report. This usually takes months and months to make any progress at all and typically costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars from using a credit repair expert. So 10 out of 10, this is one of my favorite solutions to recommend and honestly just talk about. And welcome back to a new video. Shawn's the name, and today we're talking about credit. Now, if you're a longtime viewer on this channel, you'll know that I absolutely love talking about credit. And if you're not, then you need to change that by hitting that subscribe button. Now, I love talking about credit not only because it's important and you need to have good credit, but it keeps you focused on making strong financial decisions. But today we're talking if you might have had an uh-oh or an oopsies in your financial decision making and just had a late payment show up on your credit report. So if you're watching this video, I'd probably assume that you do have a late payment on your credit report and you're trying to get it removed. But if you don't have a late payment on your credit report and you're just kind of interested in learning about this, then I need to show you how important it is to be making on-time payments, because a late payment will absolutely destroy your credit score, and here's how. Here's a super basic credit score simulator online. You basically fill out a questionnaire and then it spits out what your estimated score should be. And yes, trust me, I know it is a super rudimentary model, but I want to show you two scenarios. This one has 0 late payments in the last 2 years. And then this one has one 30-day late payment in the last 3 months. That's an estimated 75 to 125 point swing for literally making one mistake. So it's a big deal, and that's why late payments on a credit report are super important, that you'll always want to, one, not make any late payments, but two, if you do have a late payment on your credit report, you want to get it removed as soon as possible so it doesn't wreak absolute havoc on your credit score. And that's why today I'm showing you how you can remove a late payment on our credit report, and there's many ways you can actually go about doing it, but this is my favorite and most effective way. And I guess technically I'm going to be giving you two methods today, which are essentially the same exact thing. It's just a matter of how you go about those methods. The first and fastest method is actually with a platform that I've talked about before in that video right there. You know what, I'll actually leave that video linked down below in the description in case you want to check out all of the features that this does. We're only going to be focusing on one specific thing today. And the platform is ScoreMaster. Now, if you want to learn more, you want to get signed up for all that stuff, there's a link down below which will save you some money. I believe you can do a free trial, 7-day trial for $1, and then after that every month I want to say it's $22.95, and I think regularly it's about $30 or a little over $30, so it'll save you a little money if you use the link down below. Okay, so once you're logged into ScoreMaster, and again it's only $1 to do a 7-day trial account, so I'd recommend doing that. Once you're kind of logged in, I'm in a test account right now because I don't have any late payments or anything that I would be able to show in my personal account. So I got a test account right here from ScoreMaster that they set up, which is awesome. And again, there's so many features that you could take advantage of, and that's all included in that. But the one we're focusing on today for late payments is going to be kind of in this score builder. There's a bunch of things, a bunch of info it'll give you about your specific score, your specific credit report. I'm just going to go through all of this because obviously it's a test account. I don't have all these things on my credit report, but if you do end up going through ScoreMaster, I'd highly recommend that you actually read all this info. It's going to give you all the good stuff that's helping your score, all the bad stuff that's hurting your score, and once you kind of get to this, it kind of walks you through what kind of actions you can take. But I'm going to show you the specific action we will be taking today. So, for example, we've got this Citibank. Regardless of whether it's a loan or a credit card or really anything that has payment history, it's going to pretty much show you the derogatories on here, and the derogatories on this one are a little bad. We've got one 30-day late payment, one 60-day late, and one 90-day late. So this will be drastically pulling down someone's score that we definitely want to get removed. And the way that we can kind of do it, or the way that's most successful, is there's a bunch that you can kind of see here that you can do, but the most successful way to get late payments removed from a credit report is to do a goodwill correction. So if you click this goodwill correction, you can kind of select a reason from one of these that would fit your specific scenario. So whatever reason why you didn't make your payment on time. Select it here. So I want a goodwill removal of all the late payments on my credit report, or you could say the negative rating being reported on my credit report, whatever it might be. This one's going to be a late payment, and then you can kind of type a specific reason right here. I request a goodwill removal of all late payments on my credit report. I was going through a divorce divorce and our account didn't have access to all of our accounts to keep them in good standing. Now, I'm not saying go ahead and lie and put that you're going through a divorce or this specific reason, but give a little bit of a reason as to why it should be removed. This is another good place to put something about how there maybe was an accounting error, something like that. You know, maybe you want to do a personal tragedy. Maybe someone died. We see it all the time where we see a husband and a wife, and maybe the husband passes away and they were the one that were managing all the books, and the wife goes, oh, now I have to get all these bills paid. Well, I don't even know what bills we have. Well, that would be a personal tragedy, right? Hey, you know, you put on here and you say, hey, my husband passed away. He was the one making these payments. I had to track down all of these bills, track down all the places to make payments on them, and now I have everything in good standing, and now I know kind of what we're doing. These are super helpful, and you want to make sure that whether you're doing option 1, which is this one right here, ScoreMaster, or going with option 2, which I'll get to in a little bit after this, you want to make sure that your request is for one of these very specific reasons right here. Not just like, I request you to remove this late payment from my report, because they're going to say, we don't have to remove a late payment from your report. But if you say, I want a goodwill removal of this specific late payment for this specific reason, then you're going to have a high success chance with it. And once you have everything kind of done, here's some disclosures from ScoreMaster, but you go ahead and you hit confirm mail delivery. And boom, they send everything out, and you don't have to worry about anything. And one of my favorite parts is actually the fact that you don't have to look up what Citibank's mailing address is for removing late payments or for goodwill corrections. ScoreMaster does it all for you. Otherwise, you'd have to be kind of Googling around to say, where do I send a letter to Citibank for a card that I have to get them to remove an error, a dispute, something like that. It could be very time consuming. This is all taken care of for you, which is absolutely phenomenal. And a bonus to that is you can just do this for every single account that you have. Late mortgage payments do a ton to bringing down your score. So you'd want to do the same thing here. Hey, I've got 2 30-day late payments. Let's do a goodwill correction, and here's kind of the reason why. Boom, I'm a long-standing customer, request a goodwill removal. Hey, I've made 100 payments on time. I missed 1 payment for this specific reason, and blah, 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 blah. And there's a good chance that they'll actually remove that for you. So you can go ahead and do the same thing, and you can just send them all out. Send all these letters out in a matter of a couple of clicks, and boom, you're done. Now, the second method to removing a late payment from your credit report is essentially the exact same thing we just did with ScoreMaster, except you're going to be doing it yourself manually. So instead of clicking a couple buttons and having these mailed out on your behalf, you're going to want to type up your letter, make sure it has all of the correct details that we talked about when I was doing the ScoreMaster walkthrough. You're going to type it all up, you're going to print it, you're going to put it in an envelope, you're going to stamp it, mail it, all that good stuff. I really want to emphasize that you need to make sure you're doing it correctly, because the worst thing you want to happen is to go through all of that painstaking effort, because like no one has a printer these days, let's be real, but you're going to go through all of that effort, you're going to send it out to the creditor, and the creditor's going to be like, yeah, rejection, no, and then you're going to be like, oh, this doesn't work, I'm so mad. They are very particular with what type of verbiage needs to be in those letters for them to be successful. So make sure you do it right the first time and save yourself some headache. And as you can kind of see, I mean, removing a late payment from your credit report isn't necessarily super expensive. It's just kind of a lot of work, right? That's why I always recommend ScoreMaster, because, you know, for 22 bucks or $23 a month, it's super cheap to just literally click a couple buttons and not have to worry about it. Because, I mean, let's be honest, if it's not something super exciting and super fun, we're just going to keep pushing it off, and we're never going to do it, and your credit score is never going to get better. And even though ScoreMaster gets my vote 10 out of 10 times, I did want to show both methods in case you wanted a free option and a non-free option. It's not like ScoreMaster is doing anything secretive or crazy. They're just putting in the work for you, and if you have multiple late payments, it's definitely the route I'd recommend. Oh, but disclaimer though, sometimes there really is no way of getting a late payment removed from your credit report. If you were late and there really was no reason as to why you were late besides you just forgot, then you might have to keep that late payment on your credit report until over time it slowly becomes less of an impact on your score and then eventually gets removed. If you were late, you're late, but if there is good reason behind it, then this is the route that I would highly recommend, as it's been super successful with some of the clients I've worked with personally when doing people's mortgages, so I would highly recommend it. But yeah, that's pretty much how you remove a late payment from your credit report. Again, it's so important to keep late payments off of your credit report because it will drastically bring down your credit score. So hopefully this video gave you a little bit of insight and helped you out a little bit. If it did, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button, share the video with a friend, of course subscribe for more content like this, and otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Tonight.